Hey, what's up, guys? Dan the Movie Man here, and today I'm kind of doing a retread of an old video. I've done a top 10 films of 2017 already, and today I'm redoing it because since I made that list, I have seen an abundance of different movies from 2017, and I think I finally have my definitive lists. So, at number 10, we have Baby Driver. Baby Driver, directed by Edgar Wright, of course, was a huge breakout film in 2017. One of Edgar Wright's best films to date. From an action standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, it was a very good movie. I bought the relationship between Lily James' character and Baby. I liked the rotation of characters. No same characters are on the same job. As much as everything's come to light since, Kevin Spacey as an actor is a good actor, and he was good in this movie. John Hamm is fantastic in this movie. He's amazing. And overall, it was just a really fun movie to watch. I mean, you're entertained from start to finish. There's no lulls. It's not boring. And I just thought it was overall a really great film. Number 9, following those same lines, we have Logan Lucky. Logan Lucky is one of those movies that when I finished it, I immediately wanted to watch it again. It's so good. The performances are solid. The story's solid. It's hilarious. Daniel Craig absolutely steals the show as crap. I can't even remember the character's name now. But he absolutely steals the show as the convict that they break out for this job. And Joe Bang, that's his name. And he's absolutely fantastic. Adam Driver and Channing Tatum are fantastic too. The story's real simple. Channing Tatum's character gets fired, and they need money, or he's gonna end up losing his daughter. And so they rob NASCAR, and there's the whole thing about the Logan family curse, and are they gonna be able to pull this off? And there's a detective that comes in the third act of the movie, and it's a very well done movie. Number 8, I have Get Out. Get Out was I'll say the best horror movie of 2017 by far. A lot of twists and turns, very much a commentary. Jordan Peele's first movie, and it won him an Oscar. It won Jordan Peele an Oscar that he absolutely deserved. I think this is a very important movie, a very good movie. There's so much you can read into this movie too. There's so much subtle imagery and just subtle messages that you get through the film. The fact that in order to get out of this situation, he actually picks cotton out of the chair and stuffs his ear. That's really smart. The story it's very suspenseful. It's very creepy. And when you get to that climax is something else. That climax is something else. And just everything behind it, it makes your skin crawl, some of the stuff that happens. So, Get Out is my number 8. My number 7 is The Disaster Artist. Now, not only was this film just hilarious and poking fun at the room, but it actually was a very heartfelt, movie telling the story of Tommy Wiseau. And I felt we got to know a lot more about the people behind the room instead of the characters in front of them. We still don't know where Tommy Wiseau's from. We don't know where he got the money. We don't know that. We don't know how old the dude is. But you learn a lot more about Tommy and Greg's relationship, about what happened during the filming in the room. There's a lot of celebrity cameos, which is great. As a matter of fact, this opens with a bunch of celebrities talking about the room, which I thought was fantastic. James Franco's performance as Tommy Wiseau is breathtaking. It is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I mean, he looks and sounds exactly like him. It's like I'm watching Tommy Wiseau. It's so amazing. And Dave Franco is very good as Greg Sestero. Both of whom I believe have cameos in the movie. Tommy's is at the end, and Greg I think plays is a security guard or something. I can't remember. I didn't actually catch Greg's cameo, but I've heard of it. But it was all around just a really, really fun and heartfelt, endearing movie. At number 6, I have Blade Runner 2049, one of the standouts of 2017. A sequel that I'd been praying for years. We finally got it, and it's awesome. It's so awesome that it doesn't have to rely on, hey, we have Harrison Ford in this movie, Deckard's back. We don't see Deckard for a good chunk of time in this movie. We follow Kay by Ryan Gosling. And Ryan Gosling's performance in this is absolutely outstanding. I absolutely buy the relationship between Kay and Joy. It's one of the most heartfelt relationships of the year, I think. And that moment, by the way, there will be spoilers for these movies. That moment when the computer thing that broadcasts Joy is destroyed, and it cuts her off from telling Kay that she loves him. It breaks your heart, and it's emotional, even though the Joy is this program and she's not a real person. It's still very heartbreaking. And this movie, there's so much. I mean, the visuals. Roger Deakins deserved that Oscar. The cinematography in this movie is just so breathtaking, so beautiful. The action is great. The characterization is amazing. It was such a great movie, and I think it not only lived up to Blade Runner, I think it surpassed Blade Runner. I think it's better than the original Blade Runner, and that's quite the accomplishment. So at number 5, this is where things get a little tense, because I know there's a lot of people that disagree with me on this movie, is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I wholeheartedly believe this is a great film. I will admit there's some lulls in it. I'm not a big fan of the Canto Bight stuff. I like Canto Bight itself. I would love to explore Canto Bight more. I just felt that the reason we're in Canto Bight and the story surrounding Canto Bight wasn't very enthralling, and that we didn't really need it. That being said, everything else in this movie is fantastic. Luke, I don't think you could write him any better. Seeing Yoda again was amazing. Adam Driver's performance as Kylo Ren in this movie might be the best performance in Star Wars, period. Adam Driver kills it, and Mark Hamill kills it too, but Adam Driver for me is the standout in this movie. The throne room battle, with the Praetorian Guards was incredible. Seeing Carrie Fisher was both amazing and heartbreaking. Poe Dameron remains my favorite in the new characters. Even though, and that's another big issue I have, is some of the Holdo stuff, but Poe is still fantastic. And I don't care what anyone says, seeing Leia use the Force brought tears to my eyes, because it's something that they've built up for a long time, since Return of the Jedi, and so I'm really excited. I was really excited to see that, and it was great seeing that on screen, and I just love this movie. At number 4, I have 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This movie was so good. I mean, if you want to talk about a character change, Sam Rockwell in this movie, he makes a complete 180. I mean, his character goes from this slimy, disgusting, terrible human being to kind of a hero. I mean, he takes, at the end of this movie, he takes a lot of punishment to try and solve this murder. He thinks he might have this murder solved, and so he takes a beating in order to get DNA off of these guys, and it's very touching where his character comes from. And the whole movie, Frances McDormand, we got to talk about her performance, is breathtaking. Woody Harrelson is very good in this movie as well. There's not a single person in this movie who's bad, let's put it that way. It's just a great all-around movie. The ending, I thought, was perfect, leaving the audience to decide if they go and they kill that guy, or if they don't. They even say, let's just think about it until we get there. I'm of the belief that they did not kill the guy. I don't think they did. But, I mean, I could be wrong. It's left to the imagination, so it's in the eye of the beholder. It's different for everybody, and I just love that about the film. Number 3, my first and only comic book movie on the list, Logan. Logan, in my opinion, is the greatest comic book movie of all time. People know that I don't think The Dark Knight's that great. I think it's good. But Logan hit on all cylinders. It was such a heartfelt tribute, not only to Logan, to Wolverine, but to the original X-Men, because we're never going to see Hugh Jackman or Patrick Stewart back, and I don't think we're going to see Ian McKellen back. I don't think we're going to see Kelsey Grammer back. I don't think we're going to see Halle Berry back. I think we've seen the last of the original X-Men, and this was a touching tribute to all the X-Men. the relationships. First of all, this is Hugh Jackman's best performance of all time, and I think it's the best performance in a superhero movie, period. As much as I love Heath Ledger, it's very heartfelt and emotional. And Patrick Stewart, he's got to take care of him, and Patrick Stewart's, he's killed the X-Men, and he doesn't realize that. And, it's just the relationship between Logan and Laura, and how he eventually sacrifices himself to save these mutants, especially his daughter. It's very warm, and it's very touching and saddening. And I cried my eyes out seeing this movie in the theater. It was so sad, but it was so fitting. And the ending where she takes the cross and turns it into an X, it hit on all cylinders for me, and I just absolutely loved it. Number 2, I had Wind River. This is a movie not a lot of people went to see, and I think this movie was robbed of a few Oscar nominations. I would have put Best Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture for this, because this movie affected me, man. This movie was so... first of all, Jeremy Renner killed it in this movie. Jeremy Renner gives a performance like no other. He finds this girl, and this girl has been raped and killed, and the FBI comes to investigate, and they use him because he takes care of animals that get too close to properties. He's kind of a hunter. I'm not sure what the actual job title is, but she asks for his help because he knows the land and everything, and you learn more about his past, and he's gone through stuff similar, and there's a scene where he talks about what happened to his daughter, and he breaks down, and he just can't stop talking, and he's going down, and he starts crying. And Elizabeth Olsen's character, says she has to go to the bathroom. When she gets to the bathroom, she starts weeping. She's crying, and it's so... I'm almost crying now. It's so saddening and emotional, and one of my favorite lines in the movie is when after they found the body, Jeremy Renner's character is talking to Elizabeth Olsen's character, and he said, I know this girl. She's a strong girl, and no matter how far you think she ran, I guarantee you she ran further. And it was just so touching. And then the ending, I'm not going to spoil the ending because this movie a lot of people haven't seen. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful movie, and the ending is so fitting and perfect. And I just love this movie, and I think it was robbed of some Oscars. It was so good, and it flipped back and forth between 1 and 2. This movie and my number 1 flipped back and forth about 4 or 5 times because I love them both so much. But in the end, I had to go with number 1. And number 1 is War for the Planet of the Apes. This movie affected me. Andy Serkis should have been nominated, damn it. Best Actor. He was so great in this movie, and it really was, the culmination of Caesar's story. And that story was beautiful. This, I think, is not only the best of this trilogy, I think this is the best Planet of the Apes movie ever made. Yes, I think it's better than the original Charlton Heston movie. And I love that movie. But this movie is just... it's a drama. It's not a war film. This movie, so many good performances from Andy Serkis as Caesar, to the little girl. She was fantastic in this movie. To Woody Harrelson, he was great. And to see Caesar fighting so hard, he's just trying to live in this world. He doesn't want war. He just wants to survive. And then this guy comes along, and he kills in cold blood Caesar's wife and eldest son. And Caesar has had enough. He is going after this guy. This isn't about apes versus humans. This is about Caesar getting revenge for his son. And you find out stuff about Woody Harrelson's son, and then and you learn more about the simian flu and what it's doing to the humans. And eventually, in the ending of this movie, Caesar he dies, and it's sad and emotional, and he dies with Maurice, who has been his closest friend and confidant throughout the entire franchise, and it was beautiful. And I love this movie more than I could possibly say through the camera. It affected me so much, and I just love this movie. So that's it, guys. That's my top 10 films of 2017 redo. So let me know, what do you think about these movies, and what are your top 10 movies of 2017? Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.